Hey, friends, it's Thursday morning, and following up from the Easter weekend, it was a tremendous weekend in all sorts of ways. Started off with a wonderful Good Friday gathering. Just really a lot of you that came, and it had an amazing turnout. Great feedback from people of just really reflecting on the sacrifice of Jesus and stepping into that this season. That was just wonderful. Saturday morning was a pretty awesome time where we just came alongside the Boy Scouts as they ran the Caledonia Easter egg hunt down at Lakeside Park, and that was just I guess I shouldn't be surprised at the conversations and things that happened thereof, but it was just a really rich time of connecting with people in our community. I think well beyond what I originally thought. We went there to serve the Boy Scouts, and we did, but a lot more conversations came from that than we probably anticipated, which was wonderful. And I think probably have started a new tradition. A lot of the families were very grateful that we were just there serving coffee and water. They had, a lot of people had told me personally, never had that before. So that was really cool. And then on Sunday, obviously, we're going to have more of a packed house on Easter, but just, I don't know, the energy there on Sunday was really great. So it's just a fabulous weekend. I didn't get any cards, which, we unfortunately, the way that things got distributed made it a little harder, but still didn't receive any questions about the teaching on Sunday. But I hope it was a great end of the series as we consider the example of breaking bread and recognizing Jesus through the breaking of bread and really his sacrifice and the way of life that he lived, and that he rose from the dead to conquer all of those things of pain and suffering and death that no longer have the final word. And we live into that as the church. And I think, I want to tell you at least a couple of stories, a little bit with that. But anyway, all I have to say is that the table to table stuff's been taking off, and a lot of you have been stepping into that. I hope you share more of your stories. They've started to flood in a little more, so as people are talking to me informally. So I just encourage you, if you got stories of just cool things that God's teaching you in the midst of this, like send them to us so we can tell those stories and such. Or that would be absolutely fabulous. Um, we're still stepping into a lot of things with our tables that continues on throughout this summer. I've been having some pretty amazing conversations, and some of them surprising, where we have plans and those plans don't work out, but yet there's other things that pop up in the midst of it that are just I would say cooler in some ways. So, um, but just to remind you, May 19th, we're going to go see the West Michigan Whitecaps on Sunday afternoon, and we announced it on Sunday last week. There's a sign up. I'm going to include that link in this update, so you can click on that link to sign up and RSVP. $15 per person. It provides admission, a hot dog, and a small drink. Just be a wonderful time for us to kind of hang out as a church together on May 19th. So make sure that you do that. And we got some other things planned for the summer, and we're going to unveil those things as we kind of move forward through April and May, to kind of keep your ears perked up for that. One of a couple of stories I want to tell you, just there's an exciting thing that's developing, which originally was an event for our community table, and it's turning into something quite different in some ways. And it's really exciting. In fact, it's instead of like an event, it's become more of a partnership, which is what we hoped for in the beginning. But I don't think we imagined what it was, and I'm almost at the brink of letting you guys know what those conversations have been and where that's going. But I'm still talking to some more people behind the scenes here at New Ground as we kind of figure out what that looks like. Some just really exciting things that really tap in to the type of people that we want to be. And then also talking with Caledonia, Western Week's coming up in June. It's the big festival in Caledonia. I think June 18th to the 21st it is this year again, and we're gearing up to participate in that. And again, and now that I'm not as new as I used to be, have a little more time to prepare. There's been some really great conversations I've had. With the person that leads that, and just and this is the story I want to tell you, since we don't really have any questions to respond to. I think it really is a response to the sermon in some ways. The stories I've heard in the last week or two um, about our community are the kinds of stories that I want to hear. And those stories are the stories that say, hey, there's a group of people who hardly even know me that care about me. I know that New Ground Church cares about people. That's the story that's being told about our community right now. Um, a church that's genuinely interested in the community. That is the narrative that I've been hearing the last 2 or 3 weeks. And there's all sorts of smaller stories, bigger stories, what have you. But and I'm going to share one of those stories on Sunday. But it's just been like mind blowing, and the surprising thing is not anything new per se for us. I mean, I told you this before. It's not new, more than just having a more intentional effort and vision toward the type of community we are and becoming. And so, I think you're thinking about even last Saturday with serving coffee. Just I just loved the way that we did that. That I'm just going to be a little transparent here. That we didn't run our own Easter egg hunt. That we actually joined with someone else in the community Easter egg hunt, and with an organization that is trying to be a blessing as well. And just saying, hey, let's find a way to serve them and say thank you for just being part of the community and serving and being willing to do that. And that happened and more, right? Like, and people are just like, wow, it's just like, I think what was surprising to people is just the kinds of stories that I'm hearing is like, who are you people? That actually was a quote. Like, who are you guys? We don't like, why do you guys care so much? Which is a great question, which honestly is the question we want people to ask, because we're motivated by the love of Jesus, and we believe Jesus is about lifting up the community, right? Is showing an unconditional love and care for people, and just saying, hey, where are the places that we can tangibly meet needs, and where are the places that we can tangibly say we care. And that feeds into a lot about what being a servant leader is all about, right? And so, yeah, it's just a lot of exciting stuff that's going on. It's also a swirl of craziness of trying to figure out all the initiatives that we're trying to start and think about, and those kind of things, and the conversations we have. And what's great about them is that they're so organic. We come in with a plan, and the people we talk to don't necessarily have different plans all the time, but sometimes they do. But because we're trying to establish relationships and deepen relationships, those conversations go in a lot different direction than probably either one of us intended. And at the same time, it becomes more of a long-term type of vision than what we even originally thought. So it's really exciting stuff, and I'm really interested and curious to see how God leads us into that. So just wanted to let you know about those things. And, there's a lot of people working behind the scenes to make all these things happen. And it's just wonderful to hear about our church. Our church is becoming known for a church that cares about our community, period. And so that obviously comes with a new flood of requests. Obviously, we've had more requests in the last 3 months than I remember from people, which is a good problem, right? And so there's a lot of things that are on the forefront and that God's doing in us, and I think it's the kind of impact that we really want to have, and I think there's a momentum with that. So just really grateful for that. So that's the update. That's the follow up from last Sunday. I'm gonna put the sign up for the Whitecaps game in this link, and then just to give you a little preview of what's coming up. The next 4 weeks, we're going to talk about who is the RCA. Many of you have had questions, and we are pursuing becoming an organized RCA church, basically an official RCA church, and there's a process with that. But realize we really haven't talked very significantly about what that actually means. So there's some confusion. There's some things that probably need a little more clarity, and so we're going to spend 4 weeks on that. It's going to be a little bit of a different series. I'm still feeling a little awkward about it as far as like it's not the typical sermon type deal, although there is and there isn't. But I've actually lined up hopefully a couple people. I'm pretty sure at least one, but a couple of people from the RCA, from RCA HQ, to come join us during the series and kind of do like a little interview style type of thing. And so we'll be fielding your questions as well as we kind of unveil these topics and such. And so this week we're just going to talk about our roots, the history of the RCA, where it came from, what's some with some things that have been big in our history. I heard a quote: "To know where we're going, we have to know where we've been." So it's really important to pay attention to the conversations of the past, what's happened, been some sad things with the RCA and some really good things, and put that all out there and just say, hey, that's pretty much church history in general, right? So, I mean, just look at the Bible. Just read the Bible, like First Corinthians, and you can get a picture of that, right? So, but anyway, so we're kind of unveil that series. We'll talk about the RCA's vision, transform and transforming. We'll talk about the theological posture through creeds and standards. We'll talk about the future. Hopefully, it's going to be a good series. I've never done anything like this before, so I have no idea what to expect, but that's what's wonderful about doing these things, having some dialogue and those things. And we'll obviously have some space for your feedback and questions with that, especially if we're doing interview style. It'll be a lot easier to answer your questions specifically with that, so to give you a venue for that. So looking forward to the next 4 weeks with that. I'm really excited of all the things that are brewing, how we're stepping into our vision, just the things that are coming up and the conversations we're having, what we're being known for in the community. It's just really exciting stuff. And so hope you're as excited as I am about it, but look forward to see you on Sunday as we start the new series, Grace and Peace.